The story so far in 1883. So we started filling out more of the map. Companies beginning to, I mean, it's still a schlag, but started filling out more of the stuff. But I guess the biggest story in there is that the CCFR has been defrauded by two of the players, allowing them nice big stacks of cash. Now they get penalized by their share, but not terribly. They only lose half value on the share, and they get a full run of the money in their pocket, which is enough to, easily start a healthy big company or fuel lots of other investments or anything. Sort of like a rape would be in a normal game, except you're not really hurting anyone. Well, I mean, but the order of the players who get the option is kind of an important thing and kind of something you'd want to engineer. Now, the companies that are left are maybe not that exciting. Out of regular train companies, we got two. We got this guy down here, which was allowed to merge into the green for this, giving it more tokens and more power at whatever. See, here's the problem though. When they merge, they get a combined value. And that's going to make it hard to increase their stock value. Stock valuation is an important part of most XX games. And in this one, it looks really, really tough. We have that. We have this little guy down here who's kind of going to be cut off from where the main money is. The FSF has been kind of struggling as well, cash-wise. Like, it just isn't making the kind of money that the people running in here have been able to make. And then we have the bus. And I stayed away from the bus, but it's beginning to look a little bit more attractive, just in terms of like, hey, it's not affected by the train rush. The period of early trains where lots of money should be able to be made, well, we're seeing that. A couple of people are making a lot of money, but the flow upwards in cash has been really, really slow in this game. The fact that you're so you don't start with a lot of money. You're able to partial capitalize your companies and get them floated without a lot of money, but that means that they don't have a lot of trains either and don't make a lot of money per share, and you don't have many shares. And so, like, it's really this slow bootstrapping operation to get your cash up, which is why this thing is such a bonus, and why, the people who got their crack at it at full value got a lot of money. Now, other people could have gone earlier and diminished its value to these people, but it really wasn't producing the kind of cash that seemed worth it then. Now it's producing the kind of money that's like, yeah, that's company starting money. That's company starting money in 1830, not in this where you only need 2 shares. We're up to the middle values in these. We're up to green track, of course, which means 110 for starting. We only have one of these 3 BISs left before we start seeing some rusting happening. When the 4s come out of the 2s and the 2Gs both rust. And that's going to cut into people's profits a lot. At that time, 4 in the morning or so, when I know I should go to sleep. And I'm kind of tired enough, but my soul just cries out, no, you must stay awake. I got Raid playing itself downstairs. Let me get through the stock round, see where we can get. So what do we got going on here? Priorities over here. We have to consider concessions. I can only buy them with companies that already existed. But let's just think about that. This green one looks like it's going to take a shit ton of time. And I don't really want to blast through all those mountains if I'm not using that company to make a lot of the ground, basically. So, yeah, the green one, which is available to me, not terribly appealing. The red one, I would have to connect this shit up, which, yeah, it would be easy. But, and if I take the, see, here's the thing. If I take the concession, I pretty much get the advantage from it. But in doing so, I might be giving up my opportunity to take a company that more or less needs that concession and might have to use moves from this company that maybe I don't want to play. How much is that red one worth? Is it worth playing around with? Because getting extra money on your company for just some track lays, that's a pretty cool deal. So this would cost 15 bucks, and at this point in the game it would produce 150. That's pretty sweet, man. That may be worth more than me setting the value of this. I don't know. You know, it's hard to decide. Is it worth buying a corporation, starting a new corporation? I don't have a shit ton of money either. I think we'll go for the concession. I think we'll go for that concession. So that's number one. Which is how long? Oh, this is the shitty one. It only has 2 turns, 2 operating rounds, but that's okay. It only takes 2 track lays because this is already all hooked up. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I have to be able to run a train to do it. I don't think I can take this one. Let me take that money back. Because I think I would have to put a dot down here if that's the case. And it's not worth the dot. It is not worth the dot. And yeah, 2 turns, we'll let things play. Okay, what does that mean I have? Well, I have 200 bucks. I have 225 bucks. I could buy 2 shares of the Bologna Vignola. If somebody else buys it out of me, I can sell my shares. So I am going to buy the presidency of that, setting its price up at 110, which is as high as it can go right now. Interesting, it may just be a matter of luck that it turned out that the 2 players, I think it is, that the 2 players, well, the emergent chaos of an XX that I call luck, that the 2 players who have the least money have the priority at this point. So let's look at this next guy. He has the SV. He's holding it on only 2 shares. Is it a particularly good company? I mean, it's making decent money right now. I don't have an income tracker in this game. But is it... What are my other options? My other option is to start this company. Now, of course, the problem is I can't buy a concession, I think, with a company that I just started. Of course, if anybody can, this guy will buy it first. Where are concession purchases? I don't recall this. Shit. Oh, I got to pay attention to the limit of shares. We're in 4 players with 8 corporations. We're allowed 16 certificates. Nobody's anywhere near that yet, but I've run into... I played a game recently, one of the Peterson ones, where I think the 18MX, or 1822 Mexico, whatever that is. I don't know if it's Mexico, MX. I know I have like 18MX and 1822 something like it. Both of which I played relatively recently. Okay, so buying the concession, I think if the corporation has been open during the current stock round, it cannot acquire any concessions, which means this red thing is just going to disappear because it's almost certain red is going to hook this up red is going to, and blue is going to hook this up, and it's just going to go away. So that concession is just not going to happen. Red will have an opportunity on the blue one, which isn't very long, but it's got a lot of blasting going through it, which is not appealing either. So neither of these concessions is all that exciting in terms of actually being accomplished anytime soon. Which kind of means the green one relies on that thing building track more or less. The orange one, FSF is close to setting it up, but he can't build track through it yet. Which means maybe SV can get it and build it through, but you know, there's a lot of track lays involved in that. So it's kind of unappealing to try to make them. The dark blue one is very close to being made though. But I can't use purple to hook that up. That'll be going north. I can play on here, and FSF can play here. So that one is actually is available. And then purple can play down here, I guess. Tricky. Okay. Do I want to do the same thing with the Modena Vignola? You know, I'm in the same kind of position where except that I don't have as much cash. I only have 215, well 217. I don't have the 220 I would like to start the company with. Did I put a par marker down for that guy? Where's the red one? Yeah, he got it at 110. Okay. Oh, I mean, there's not that big a difference between 100 and 110, is there? I also have less shares, which puts me in a trickier position. Of course, I have this incredibly valuable share. This may not be the best time to start a company. Having a hard time. When the fours come out is when this gets triggered, I believe. And when this can merge, but that merger will not happen. Do I want to throw more money into my SV? See, I can always throw 5 times its current value in, but its current value isn't very good, which is problematic. Nobody's making stock increases, which feels so weird in an 18XX. Like, normally you make a lot of stock value. You're not getting much in this one because it's hard. It's hard to get your companies to go forward. Would I be best buying my own shares, getting more cash in my company, a company which I kind of want to swallow with once more, or would I be better off buying shares of something that has a 3 train? When do the regular 3s die? The regular 3s die with the 5 train. It's a new company. That's going to eat up a share there. Ooh. Uh-oh. I don't have enough cash. I will. But I'm going to have to pay out of pocket, that means. Unless, yeah, I have no way of getting the cash there. Oops. Okay, well, such is life. He's not going to have to pay a lot out of pocket, just like $10, but he's only going to be able to buy the 3 BIS, which means the 4 trains are going to be coming out. This thing is not going to be a great moneymaker. Of course, I could buy trains from this company, free things up, do all kind of weird shit. So we do have some opportunities available. But this guy definitely is not going to buy off of, he's not going to buy a new company. I got a $10 loss on this company. My SVs would be an even bigger $15 loss. This has the 3 bis. It has the longest staying power of all the companies. All this shit goes away as soon as a 4 gets bought. Who's going to buy a 4? That's the question. I don't see the money anywhere. I don't mind hooking him up with one for later. I just don't really want him to have one now. That puts me over here. And yeah, who's going to buy a 4? Maybe my company. Because he wants to start that. Now, what is the deal with the merger? Let's look at the rules for merging. The 2 companies both have to have run at least once when the merger is made, which means the active company, if it's in the first round, would have to be this one. It increases the stock value, but it makes it harder to make money. Because the value will be the combined value of the 2 companies. Now this thing is worth 90, which means if I don't want to lose stock value, I can only spend, well, yeah, because the shares are cut in half, right? Yeah, because the shares are cut in half. That's not fun. So, I mean, I was looking at, I want to own this. But I'm not sure I really do. Why didn't he cash that thing into an SV? There's just so much complexity going on here. And I got to swap batteries. Got nothing done, and I've already run out of battery. We're going to hit some serious chaos here. Now, here's the thing. The share value is the merger of the 2. It is the combined value of the 2. But I exchanged 2 shares for 1, which means my 3 shares here, I would have to exchange the 2 presidencies, essentially, to get a presidency of this thing. What happens if there's no president? If there's a tie, it goes to the first of the tied players, starting with the player holding the president. The new president has not been claimed because no player has 2. The president's certificate is given to the first player who received it. That player must pay the difference to upgrade his 10% to the presidency. If he doesn't have enough money, he's forced into a purchase. Wow, that's nasty too. Yeah, there's no way around it. If you do the merger, you're going to be forcing a weird situation to happen. And obviously, it's up to the 2 presidents to make a choice. So, can I create a boost in value? Well, in essence, no, because these shares, I bought them at 100 each. The most they're going to be worth is 150 for 2 of them, and right now they're worth 180 for 2. So it is not a good deal for me to buy that right now. Well, to merge it. Might not be a terrible idea for me to buy it, but if I buy it, I'm bringing the 4 train into existence, which I may not want to do. Which means what? I will keep my company alive. It's making me a ton of money. Yes, this is going to help him, but he's building another company. So he's taking, he's creating some perturbations in the system. All right, that brings me to the other guy with a ton of money. What does he want to do? Well, he doesn't have a ton of money in the FSF. The FSF is not that great. I would love to buy me a Fortran, though. And I think putting it on the FSF would be the thing I'd like to do. The FSF is at 100 par. We'll buy one of them. Because we have a plan in mind. Okay. Gets me back over here. This has enough money almost for its train. I don't have any cash. I'm in trouble. I can't buy a concession. Except with this, let me think about how that concession works again. Let's see how completing a concession works. Because that's the issue. If he wants to complete the concession, 5.6.2 is where it sends me for this. Oh boy. That sounds like it's stock round stuff. What the fuck? Okay. The route is continued valid if a hypothetical train with an infinite number of cities is able to run it without being blocked by tokens of other railway corporations. Yeah, I have to be able to run the route, which means I have a token here. I would need to put another token somewhere to run that route with this company. I think I'm going to be able to get away with the concession for this company eventually because nope. Nope. Because I got a hook into there. Not good. Blue could get away with it, but not the red company. Okay. Yeah, so we're not buying the concession because that involves putting a $100 token to get like $100 back. Not cool. Which then means I think we just pass. Political support's probably $15 each. I have 2 of them. I'm good. That puts me back up here. What's he up to? He's got cash. I get 2 shares of a company. That may not be the best thing in the world to have, right? Because this company could run hard. If I do anything, I'm handing him priority. But these guys both have more money than me. I think I can keep buying that. Or I can buy this other company that makes the same money. Should we spread the wealth or put it all in one company? Let's put it all in one company. I'm in a position where I could take this company over if he does foolish things by being just before him in the turn order. That's a valuable thing. What have we been buying? We've been buying our own shit. Sounds like a good idea. Up to 50%. We're allowed to hold 60, I believe. I'm going to have to check that to make sure. Finding the way these rules are written, it's particularly hard to find this piece of information. So there's no limitation here. I know there's a limitation. There's not going to be one here. There's not going to be one here. Purchase restriction, you can't buy one that you sold. Limit of quotas, there it is. Keep more than 60%. Yeah, so I got room for one more share if nobody else buys. And that's going to push it down here. Now green is in the same position as brown. They can't really buy this connection. That puts me back on him. He's been buying up his own shares. Might as well keep doing that because I got room for a Fortran. And I want to shake up the world. And this seems like a reasonable way to do it, as opposed to buying another company. And especially the bus company, which will not do that, right? Okay. But I mean, he's got a shit ton of money. I'm not going to really hurt him. He's going to be able to buy his thing. It's going to hurt this guy a lot. And it's his own fault. He bought a company for some reason. Yeah, I'm used to trying to start new companies, but that's because that allows you to make more money, because corporations tend to make good money, not so much off of the runs they're making, but off of the stock value increases they're making. But they're not going to make stock value increases if they're shitty. Hey! Should figure out some way to get these into my companies. Balancing all the different things, like I'm so used to these more complicated games that have a lot of mechanisms I'm not really familiar with, not having the capacity to ram a private in for double value. So what are my choices? Well, my choice is to pass, of course. That's all I can do. He has nothing left. I could, of course, convert to my SV now. Not really a good idea. I'd rather make the $10 first, then convert just before it makes money. It's not like I'm trying to produce a lot of cash. I'll buy the last share of my company, selling it out. It will not go up in value because it's at the top of the chart and there's no diagonals or anything like that, like there are in some games, to allow you to keep going forward. There's nothing to help you in this game, man. Nothing. Okay. What do we got here? We have... I want to keep buying my stuff. I guess. Just keep putting money in my treasury. Pass, pass. I'm out of purchases from that. I have $200. I could start the bus company. It'll make money. It doesn't seem like the wisest thing in the world to start. This looks fairly healthy to my view. What is this? This is FSF. It's at 100. Yeah, let's buy. I have one of those already. Let's buy an FSF. The orange. Let's sell out our company if we can. All right, that puts me at my 60%. Nobody else is buying mine though, except for that guy, so whatever. Pass, pass, come back around. What do we got? I got another $100. What can I put that $100 into? I don't have 110, so I can't buy the new company. Which means I could buy an SV. That would leave me holding 2 SVs in his position. This guy has cash. I will buy another one of his shares. It's not going to be enough to push it to the edge, but again, it's at the top. Who cares? Go to him. Can't buy that. If I buy this, I'm handing him priority. I could end up owning that. It's not terrible, but I don't really want to do that because I already have one. So now the question is SVs or the new thing? Buy an SV. Pass, pass, pass. 60-something bucks. That's not going to do it. We have companies that are sold out. That is just one, just the green one, and it's not going anywhere. We're at 2 operating rounds because we haven't hit the brown track yet. And that should be it. All right, I'll put the round marker over here so I remember to do that. And I was wrong about the privates. Like, I thought the merger took the privates in. I thought I saw something about that. I can't remember it being where it would be. So I don't think it's the truth. It may close the privates, but I think they close just when the 5 happens. I don't think they close due to the merger. And the merger's not happening, it looks like. It looks like it's too bad a deal. If you start your share, if your shares are kicking around towards the bottom, it might be worth buying, starting the other company. But man, yeah. You don't need more trains if you merge them. You get more tokens, which makes you more powerful. But you lose so much stock value here. You know, each one of these guys are worth $90 each. That comes to 180. No matter what, my trade-in is going to be worse. Now, I could start this new company at 65 and reduce my reduce the pain point. But other people will buy shares of it at 65 because 265s only equals 130. They're going to make 100. They're going to be able to turn those in for $150 worth of shares. No matter what, I'm getting hurt for these shares unless I figure out a way to get my stock value down. So yeah, or balance it out and buying enough of the blue ones. Oh well, I went to bed around 5 and laid in bed for over an hour. Didn't come. Sleep did not come. So I made myself a breakfast, and I don't know, chances are I'm probably gonna stay awake again today, at least for most of it. Again, get a nap, whatever. It doesn't matter. I was tired enough, sleepy enough, everything, it felt like, but whenever it's necessary to go get sleep, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work for me. Almost without fail. Like, I've been like awake for 3 days straight because of this kind of shit sometimes. Maybe with a nap here and there. Anyway, let's get to the Empire Declared. Each player gains 1 political support card within their limit of 9. This is kind of cool, because so Mussolini is good to the railroads, not surprisingly. And now let's pay out the privates, and it looks like this sucker, despite everyone's best interest, is not in the lead anymore. The lead's going to be this new FBV over here. How about that? Funny, this is feeling sort of like when I first started playing 1830, which was the first of my XXs. And it would quite often be the case, either for me and maybe my first play or whatever, other players as well, that the privates would just sort of sit in people's hands. They wouldn't do anything too impressive with them, unless they could convert them and do the special thing with them. Here, I got a problem because I just can't grasp the special abilities because I have to look for them. But I got one I can turn in for a share. One that had a special tile placement that I can't really do anymore. And I think that's about it that's left. No, there's this tile in Marinella hex in addition to normal tile. Marinella is right there. Is that terribly useful to anyone? That's going to be the what the $80 one, which has to be over here. Yeah. So, if that piece of track is especially important. Otherwise, the only reason to cash them in is to grab more money into my pocket, which is a worthwhile goal. There's no question about that, especially early in the game. But that's kind of the thing. The idea of selling these off and turning them into cash early in the game, that took a while for my group to kind of really get in the habit of almost always doing. Anyway, so for this first company, what does it want to do? It's the one that starts with the highest starting value. And down here, I got a run set up. I got to buy a train. But do I want to buy the 3 BIS, which probably ensures that a 4 train comes out over there? Look at all that money, whatever. Or do I want to buy a train from over here? This guy makes good money. As good as that. But if I take a train away, it won't. But yeah, we see what's going on here, right? I could buy a cheaper train. I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to buy the 3 train. I have a usage for it, 1, 2, 3. I don't want to go blasting through the mountains and whatnot with my money. I think I just want to push things forward because I don't want to be behind him further than I already am. Even though he's got the advantage either way because so many shares sold out of that. Spend a little bit of my own money to get that first 3 train. We, of course, go back as one always does. And that's going to put me on the purple, which I get to run. And I get to run it before the 2s die. Of course, this is going to get a 4 train for free, but right now I've got 2 usable trains and the 2 Gs, so that's pretty good. Is there track that I want to lay for anything? I mean, I will be laying track. The question, though, is, what do I need to do with this? My other company is this thing, which maybe wants to work on that green concession. So I might as well keep building that out, I guess, because there isn't much else. So I have a 27 share at this point. 27. Would put $54 in the treasury. I could buy this company for 40 and still keep my thing. Or I could take $270 right now. It's not going to be as one of my 2 Gs failed. It's not going to be as good next run. But what happens if I pay this sucker out? Keep my share. I think the 4s are going to come out. That'll give me an extra share. And by my understanding, since I'm the president, I can buy this sucker for $40. I actually think that's a kind of cool idea. I think I'll do that. Let me calculate out, because I just did it. I had to pay out of pocket for this train. And now this is over here. I don't know where to put this other than up here. For now, until it's destroyed. Don't think this was a particularly useful one. This was the one that does nothing, right? It is only worth $40. But what it means is I made $27 plus $40. That, maybe I'm losing 5, 10 off of that. But, all right, so I made 27 plus 40 in early money, call it 35. 50, $62 plus the value of a share, which means I made like 172. Now the other thing was worth 270 something. And you could say, well, also half the value of a share, which would have put it to 320, but actually I'm losing half the value of that share. So it's like 220, and I've got a shot at getting that double share if he chooses to go for the bigger money on the second operating round, which is obviously the better time to grab it, usually, although it may not be because there may not be enough trains. Anyway, I wanted to do it. I feel like these guys had taken a certain pathway. I can't beat them on that pathway. If I'm delayed another turn in getting my cash and all that kind of shit, I'm just going to be in more problem from that. So this felt like an interesting idea. I might end up with the presidency of that company and a capability to do stuff that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. All right. Now, one of the other factors of this is that I am the next company to run. No, I am not. The FSFF. This thing is. And this has enough money to buy the 4 train. Oops. I thought I was going to get to go with this. Doesn't really make a difference. It might have made a difference in terms of shifting a train instead to delay the outcome, but yeah. All right, what the hell is this thing? This thing still gets double train plays until the 4 train comes out. I know that much. I think it gets loosened from its restrictions after. I do not have the concession. Okay, here's the interesting thing. Until the first 4 is sold, I can place a tile and make an update beginning from each of its starting cities on the hexes with an F. If the 2 starting cities are connected, it's possible to do both and read an update. For all other hexes, I can place an update tiles as usual, and I can play tokens. So I am actually not restricted. The only bonus I have, or the only factor I have, is a bonus that is about ready to go away of 2-track plays, which I think I'll take advantage of this turn. But then, yeah, I can get rid of those Fs, I think, after that. They will not have any effect on play as soon as I buy that 4 train. So I did a couple of upgrades here and here. I look at my runs, though, and, oh, I can't make it down here. I can't ride the red track down here. I thought I could. What does that mean? I wouldn't be able to use this either, I'm guessing. No, because, like, let's say I wanted to... All this track is divided, which makes me believe even more that these are bridges. They're just not expressed as such. Yeah. Makes me believe that my best run then is 3, 6, 12, and 8, 20, which is what I would have gotten elsewhere. I have lots of shares now, so, and enough money, I think I'm going to pay out. Okay, so what happened? Well, all the 2s are gone, all the 2 Gs are gone, everybody's down to very few trains. He got a free 4 train. We're not done with his train purchase yet. He still has the... You don't want to buy 2 4 trains. I'm pretty convinced of that, unless I'm starting another company right away. Phase 4. Companies can only have 3 trains each now. Anchors are only worth +10 now. Did I forget about my anchor? I forgot to score my anchor. Were they worth +10 before? No, they were worth +20 before. Yeah, so I just dropped the value of my anchor, which I was not hitting. Although I should have. I should have hit it. I would have made a $1 more per. I'll hand that out. I just forget that it's there. There's so much busyness going on that, like, one more marker on the board that has some value effect is just hard to remember. But now the SEFTA can be merged. This thing, actually, I thought it was converting over on the 4. It doesn't convert over till the 5. Now, the 5 is going to happen pretty soon. But one of the things that makes me a little happier about the move that I made, I'm going to get more control activations because I'm getting every other turn. I'm going to get more capabilities to cash in if I so desire. Although this turn would have been the turn to cash in because this is not going to make as much. But the fact that I failed on one of my 2Gs convinced me, look, uh, honestly, I was only running 2 trains. I'm running 2 bigger trains, or I'm running a little bit more train now, 2 more points of train. So actually, I can probably run for about the same. So the flexibility is not terrible. And then I can check up and see, am I the guy who's going to end up owning it, or is this guy going to be ending up owning it? And if I'm going to end up owning it, I just I hold on to my share because that's going to double. If I'm not, well, then I probably sink it because whatever. Anyway, nothing too exciting happens except the ports go down in value. Do not want to buy another train. This is gone. And I don't see a dot or anything I particularly want it. So I'll stop there. I could have actually placed this other port here. I don't have to do it because this is based on which company I am. I don't think I have to do it before the 5s come out or anything like that. Hey, it's only me. Yeah, let me just put this here because I don't think I'm going to get down there. I don't know. Let's hold off. All right. No reason to do what you need to. Now, we're still on this one, the green. And his route has been cut to shit, but he gets to buy a 4 train and help it out. It'll be a jump from here, here, here. I'm not allowed to jump to another one. I'd have to have another train to do that. That's a run of 16 a share, which I am paying out because it's crappy, and no reason to swallow that shit. Also, so here's the thing. Normally that's the judgment, right? You don't want to swallow if you're not making a lot. You might as well pay it out. It doesn't matter how few shares you have or whatever. Here, actually, you might want to swallow when you're not making a hell of a lot, because you don't go forward. And the runs are like, when you're weak, the runs are kind of really low, and but now I get to move forward. It's not a big run, but it's big enough that I get to move forward because of my lower stock value. And since I can only move forward one each time, I might as well keep going. See, this is kind of the ugly place of this stage of the game where you're kind of, look, I have a train, I could keep going, I could hold on until that 5 train, but the cost is just too high to try to delay the train rush. Well, to end up delaying the train rush because I don't want to buy that crappy train. This isn't that bad a train. It lasts out into, what, the 8 trains. Wow, that's pretty hefty. And yeah, it's like the diesels. Okay. And at 350, it's not a bad deal. Yeah, sure, I would love to get 2 permanent trains for cheap, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. There are a fair number of them. Yeah, I mean, I have this huge stack of cash. Like, I should be able to do it. It's better to make money. I got a lot of shares. If I was only running on 2 shares, I might not do that. Well, this poor thing was definitely counting on getting a run that it did not swallow for. And now I'm in much, much worse situation. Shouldn't have bought this. Should have bought a train off here. I didn't foresee that I wasn't going to get a run, which is just stupidity. It was right in front of me. This guy's fucked. He screwed up completely. Yeah. Oops. Right then. Shouldn't have bought this company to begin with. Because, yeah, but I wanted to shake things up. But shaking things up was the wrong thing to do. I was not in a position to take it. I've heard this argument. Clear Claw used to make it all the time. Yeah, if you're behind, just if you can't figure out what to do, but you're behind, you might as well throw a wrench in things and break things, because maybe you'll come out atop, even if you can't calculate it all out. Well, here, I just didn't take the time, but like, I mean, this was clearly obvious that it was a bad move. But the thing is, that shake things up, I think, is a dangerous attitude. It's the attitude of the binary win loss concept. And that's not really reasonable, in my opinion. He just went from, I think, being not in last place to being in last place by doing the move he did. It was a bad move. He would have been better off losing ground continuously to this guy and maybe beating out this guy, force somebody else to make the move. I don't think trying to shake things up just because you're not winning is like generally a sensible move. I think you have to calculate, how much do I make money off this? Is it a good move for me? And obviously I'm so flustered by the amount of new shit going on and stuff that I'm fiddling around with and stuff, that I'm not managing to pay enough attention to all the different players, it seems. The red concession is gone because I built this track. And I'm not making a shit ton of money. I'm making, I should be swallowing, but I'm making, I had it calculated, 120, 160. I'll just pay that out at 16 a share. Hope I can figure something out. But I don't see much I can do, to be honest. Especially since I didn't cash this in, so I don't have a big float of money either to play with. If I had that money, I could have put it into the company before. The thing we're seeing, though, other than that I'm clumsy with what I do, fuck, moved the wrong one forward, is that the timing of these is really, really important. And again, I feel like that's something that feels a little chaotic, and maybe you don't have a whole shit ton of control over it. Certainly in the first time playing, it's not clear how important it's going to be. But yeah, the timing of that is really deciding the winners from the losers in this game, I think. By, hey, were you able to cash out big at a really good time to do so? Because I could have cashed out a lot smaller with other people beforehand. But those two players got to cash out big on a really important turn. The turn when I usually, dump my stocks and start a new company and whatever. In that 3-4 turn span in the 1830 period. If I'm in a position where that's where I want to dump stocks and stuff. So that puts us over on the SV as the last of the companies. What is up with him? Not nearly enough money to do anything exciting. Sometimes you get shocked, though. Sometimes something like a single 3-train or something actually works out to be okay. Because remember, there's a lot of capitalization here. In fact, he could have dumped a bunch of shares. He's just not worried right now. Although he should be, because the 5-train kills those 3s. Oh. How much would I need? I need $500 for a 5-train. I may need to do this. Because he just went. So I can jump in with him. He has these. Now I don't get $90 each for these. That's the problem. If I sold 4 of them, I would get $280. I mean, that would give me a 5-train, but I don't feel like that's worth. I don't feel like that's worth risking my share, like throwing my shares in for. Because here's the thing, I'm going to be lowering my share value. I'm going to be causing all kind of issues to myself. Might be worth it for this guy. I don't know. It's kind of nice once you get to the platform if you can make some runs that are positive, but it's hard to make positive runs for any length of time. As soon as people start making money, yeah, at least for me, the desire to buy more companies, right? Because usually there's an advantage to getting those additional presidencies, the 20% certificate that counts double at the end of the game in terms of how much extra revenue, extra value it's bringing. But I don't know here. I really don't know. There's the control of the board, but I don't know how to control this board. It's so again, there's so much chaos going on. All right, I'll leave this be because I'm just not happy with the amount of money I'm going to be getting out of it. But I'm afraid I'm going to crash with that 3 train. Similar looking situation for the SV. I built this track, planning to try to hook my 2 things up. By the way, I noticed how weird it is that these 2 are here and then all the rest of these are up there. That is matching this. I don't know if it's supposed to be like. Part of me wants to say there should be F's over here or something. I don't know. Because it kind of feels like a floodplain type stuff, but I have no idea. I have no idea why it's a F, right? So he's in the same position in a lot of ways, and except that he's only holding 1 company he has to keep alive, whereas this guy's got to keep 2 alive, which makes it less appealing to try to buy more trains. But I'm making a 16 run. Now, I only have 2 shares, which I think means that I probably actually want to swallow. And if I swallow, do I want to dump a bunch of shares out there so I can afford a 5 train? I don't think I need to do that. But I think I do need. I'm just not going to make much money off these 2 shares, right? So I'm going to take the 160 in the bank in the treasury. Again, though, it's like, yeah, we did not get the bonus money that we expected to get. Now, I could pay out. I'm gonna get the bonus money there. Am I not? Oh shit. All right, let me see who gets the company. The CCF, whatever. Yeah, the company. What is the ordering in it? Because whoever gets it gets a bonus share. The player with the lesser number of presidencies. That's him. It's kind of the opposite of the last way. Yeah, we'll swallow. If we're not going to make the money, if we're not going to make the quick cash off of it, swallowing seems like the right thing to do. And that goes there. Obviously, we could buy a train. We could buy the last 4 train. If I have control of this will have a 5 train. Yep. Buying it. Buying it because I don't want to be living with a train that's just about ready to be destroyed. Unlike this idiot. Yeah. Is he the only one? Yeah, he's the only one right now. All right. That's an operating round. If I'm staying up until I go shopping, which I think is the case, I'm up for a long time. I do have to check on RAID. It's busy playing by itself. Fortunately, I had the focus on my computer wrong, so I kind of went to sleep and didn't play as much as it should have. All right. Another event for the second operating round. General strike. Each company has to play a political support card or have its route reduced to 0. Route. Right. That does not affect this because it's kind of worker owned. Railways and buses. Yeah, this doesn't affect the privates. At least that I know of. I didn't, I'm assuming. Oh, geez. I better check. Okay, this is much worse than the last. The last one was a railroad strike. It cut things in half. This hits, they say each corporation here. Here they say each company. These are companies. They're not corporations. But it does say, you know, I think if it hit the privates, it would actually call it out. So I'm going to say that they're small enough, they're not affected by the general strike, and I'm going to pay out their income. But this is a big deal, and this is one where if you don't pay your political support card, your company just doesn't run. Like, you make no money. Route is reduced to 0 on this one, so ouch. Funny, this would be his one chance to, or this would be his chance, one out of, I don't know, he had one earlier, and he's going to be getting them every other turn. But this would be his chance to dump the company, and if he wanted to rape the company, playing a political support to do so makes sense. Does playing a political support for my 10% share to produce make sense? I don't know. I really don't know. I feel kind of like I want to hold on to my political support rather than play that out. I am still allowed to play track, though. The question of where priority is comes in mind again, because whoever has priority could grab this green thing. Well, it's him. He has a company which could take advantage of it, which means I want to screw it over, and I'm going to bum that concession. I'm not going to pay for that, but I did lay my track, connected this up, got rid of that concession. I'm almost at the point, not quite, where I can remove all these brown cubes, because the only thing they mattered for a couple of things. One is the G trains. Well, those are all gone, but they do matter for my tile placements by the CCFFR or CCRF or whatever it is. I am allowed to make an extra tile placement there. So, okay. I'm making all my tile placements down there because it does cool stuff. I thought about placing this, but I don't reach there. To try to enhance the value of my share there and make it more likely someone, or I, ends up buying it. Not going to play the support, taking the hit. Too bad. $7 a share, I don't think it's worth it for me to run that. You know, those cards, they cost a minimum of $5. $7 a share, I make $21, sure, but I'm getting up there in value of cards. There may be things that require more than one card. Maybe I'm overvaluing them, but you know, I would rather not be forced to pay out with them. Built here. That's going to put me on the FSF. He has enough shares that he's going to throw a card in. We're allowed to own 3 trains right now. I could buy the first 5 train with a swallow. I don't know if it's worth it. Oh, he didn't have enough. He wanted to pay that. But let's take a look at the this guy. He has no cash, so he's not buying anything because he had an enforced purchase of trains. Just checking things out because these are about to go. It's time to cash them in. I'm almost certainly going to cash this in, which means probably the swallow isn't worth it. Yeah. FSF run. Remember, I can't jump down to one of these. I need to have a dot on one of those in order to make the connection. I have to be able to go through the town in order to make the connection with the jumps. But with something like this, I can make this 50, 60, 70, 80. And I guess 30. That gets me to 11. 17, 20. 23, 24, 28. Wow, that's a lot of money. Was there a dot I wanted to play? That was something I wanted to look at. This looks like a really important dot, so I think I'm going to play that as well. But I got a 28 run right now. I don't know what I'm doing with it. So here's the thing. If I swallow, I easily should have enough money to buy that as well as this. We'll buy this, 80 bucks. There we go. Get that out of our hands. Okay. But I have $300 here, another 280. That easily puts me up there. I get a 5 train. I'll have to discard a train. Terrible, okay? Right? Not a great thing. But I do speed up the trains. That puts me in a better position with regard to some people. This guy loses a train as well. This guy loses a train. He loses a train. I think we cause a lot of damage. He has the money to buy another 5, almost certainly. But he's not going to make a hell of a lot. So yeah, I'm going to do that swallow. I'm going to rush things out. We said that was 280. Which means I get 80 in pocket. The 5 train, and we cause all kind of chaos. This thing is going to convert. All kind of shit happens. Many interesting things that happens is that there's this 3 BIS sitting out there, which is a horrible train for anyone to buy right now, right? Like, it's so old, but if people are low on money, they're gonna be forced to buy that piece of shit. And that will make them actually owe more in the long run. Okay, we just shifted to 5s. It's going to make browns available, I'm pretty sure. I recall that being the case. Let's take a look. Phase 5 is the purchase of the first 5 train. Hey, it catches up here. 4, 3. It's because of the 2 different 3 trains. Cool. Until the purchase of the first 6. Stock round, we're going to have 3 operating rounds between each one. Corporations can float at 150 now, which makes them even more expensive, interesting. Brown tracks are available. 3s are eliminated. Each corporation can only have 2 trains, which is why I had to ditch a train. Private companies all close. Oh, terrible, terrible. There goes, yeah, he didn't take his share. Oh, he fucked up, man. Son of a bitch. It's so hard to remember to time that. I do the same damn thing with the D&H, where I'm trying to hold it until, you know, until I get all of its value, and then, oops. Oh well. People are making mistakes of various kinds. That's the guy in the lead. I'm not gonna cry too many tears about him. The average value of external boxes is still applied, so the middle value, this is what they mean. Random event cards are still second deck. Anchors are only plus 10. The merger of SE... Oh, by the way, I will do this just so I don't have to look that up. The merging of SEFTA can be made. CCFR becomes capitalist. SARSA can now operate on planes. That's the bus company. They can leave the mountains, which is really cool because now they can start like putting stuff down for free, which is awesome. And makes them a lot more viable, in my opinion. But we've got the CCFR, which is now going into play. And how does that happen? Well, we have to find the special rules on that. Here we go. Immediately after the first 5, it becomes capitalist. It receives a 5 train from the bank. A further £100 of money. Lira, sorry. I see the L and it looks kind of like the pound sign, and It confuses me. It places the 4 train in the bank pool. Okay, I lose my 4 train. That's another crap train out there for people. Interesting. This has such different like collateral effects to the train rush, like old trains flowing into there in large quantities. Whoa. Well, one of them. One of them was player decision. Okay, the player with the lesser number of presidencies becomes the president of this, and he gets this presidency for free. Which is, worth another $100 for that share. These are some of the spares that I don't need. It is not frozen. So I believe the stocks that are in the bank pool remain in the bank pool. The stocks that are not everything stays where it is. The price stays where it is and everything. I don't think it has a par value. I think those all go in there. The CCFR places the 4. The stocks in the initial offering are placed in the bank pool, even exceeding the limit. Yeah. So you're not going to give them more money, but they will gain money out of this. And there should be like 7 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't separate these with my fingers, but with only one hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I could separate them with one hand if I wasn't holding the camera somehow. It's weird. It's like I lose some dexterity in my left hand by holding the camera in my right. A fair amount of blundering around and stuff I'm not expecting or, planning for or preparing for happening. It's funny. When I first played 1830, the stuff I wasn't planning for, expecting, that just hit me like a brick, excited me so much about the game. Now when I play an XX, I don't generally feel as excited by it, but I was feeling that with the game, again, the game with the weird miners, the way that they operated. That requires a whole different way of thinking, like all the assumptions are thrown out. Here, I don't know if it's so much the assumptions being thrown out as there's just so much busyness going on that I'm not really convinced that I understand what's going on. Now, how does the CCFR work? Until capitalization, it has this special movement. After, it can place tiles or make updates as any other company, but continues to be able to place a yellow tile if all these just stay all game. Bugger. But you know what does go away is the Fs. Because, let's find the limitation on them. FSF, until the first 4, it can place a tile and make an update on the hexes with the letter F. If the 2 starting cities are connected, it's possible to combine them. For all of their hexes, it places an updates. So all of these go away at least. Okay, now the green gets to go. I upgrade this. That's going to give me 6, 13. 1721 is, I think, the best I can do. I don't know if upgrading that's the more important thing. You can make arguments in all kind of directions for this, but I want to make sure that I'm hitting stuff I want to hit. So what did I say? 1321. Here's the problem. I could pay that out. I got me a train. One, two, three, four, five, six. All shares were sold out. So there's not much I can do to get money into my company except to swallow. And I need to get a permanent train. So I think I have to swallow. Now, no matter what, with that kind of money at stake, I play this. But yeah, I think I have to swallow that 280, which is not the best thing in the world, but, you know, and maybe it's a bad idea. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to go bankrupt. This is not a game where bankruptcy ends the game and everybody gets to count score. So, yeah, okay. I don't know how terrible it is. I'm within striking distance of another permanent train. 280 and another 220. If I get another crack, I can't buy it. But if I get another company, this is the last stock round this time around. Okay, that puts it on the Brown Company, which is in trouble. No need to play political support, at least there's that. But I need to buy a train, and the cheapest train is 250 bucks, and I'm gonna have to pay cash for that out of pocket. There's clearly on a road to doom. 2 trains that are gonna die as soon as the first 6 gets bought. No money, basically, no shares, no nothing, no chance to turn this into a big pile of cash anymore. It's just a regular corporation now. You can't steal from it the same way. And everybody has gone except the SV. The SV does not have a permanent train, doesn't have a lot of money. Probably is going to play a political support and swallow just to start collecting up cash. Play the card. And we're going to be running 70, 130, 170 because we take the lower because we're going through 170, 220, and we'll swallow that. Because with only 2 shares, we don't want to be on the hook. And that'll put us on the stock round. These flip over. What did we do? A whole set of 1 stock round and 2 operating rounds, and that's it. Priority is still sitting over here. He's not got a lot to do with it. Anybody got 2 of my companies? Anybody got 2 shares of my shit? No. Yeah, I mean, I'm at 11 bucks. Shares that are worth garbage. There's little or no hope for him. He's probably going to sell off his shares in the hopes that somebody buys out one of his companies. That's not going to happen. But in the hopes of being able to run them with money in the bank pool. And I can sell shares, dumping my stock value to get some cash into the treasury. It's not going to be a lot, depending on how I time it and everything. But yeah, I'm not in great shape. In fact, I could have done that with this one, but I would rather hold my shares, I think. I don't know. I mean, I had 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could have gotten 300 and something bucks by dumping these. You know what? Cash in my pocket is not worth as much. I'm gonna consider both of these because these guys are in conditions that I'm not used to as being possible in the game. So if he sold his shares, it's not like he can buy anything. 1, 2, 3, 4. He would get 240, 260 bucks in his treasury. That's a fair way towards this. It's not really a lot. Let's do it. And again, without multiples being able to be bought back, it's problematic. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I said 260. That way he can hold his shitty shares of that company at least. Although I could sell one of them and further dump my stock value down. What about the SV guy? What is his problem? He just swallowed did he want to do something? See, on the other hand, this guy actually has money. He can bail out his company. So he doesn't have to ditch its value. And it's got good track. So, although I'm not going to be able to start this if I throw all my cash into that company, I think I'm okay. So I think I'll keep my stock value where it is. Because here's the problem. Whatever you buy comes out of here. So that's kind of painful. Maybe I'm better off selling them out. How many do I have here? I got 7 in here. I would leave 2. Yeah, you know what? This is not fungible. Let's dump 5 of these as well. I'll find space for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives him $200. That way I don't have to throw money into this, and I'm close to my 500 to getting that train. Not too far from the 600 if I won't be forced. Yeah, so I'm within striking distance with that company. This company has a permanent train, all good. I can kind of do what I like at this point with my personal cash. Not that I have a hell of a lot, but I do have these, but they're not worth shit. Nothing's worth anything in this game. Everything's tanking. My God. All right. That'll put me on the stock round. Do I do the stock rounds on a video? I don't know. I think we'll load this up. But yeah. Wow. Weird shit happening here. I could put this here. Shift these over. Get 5 of these spread out, whatever. And real warning, being an investor may not be the greatest thing in the world. You can lose a shit ton of stock value off of it. Wowzer. Okay, let's end this up.